Good morning and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael for Tuesday, the 23rd of November. Time certainly is flying. This morning, I would ask your prayers for myself, for my husband Rob, and for the Padres from Garrison Wainwright, and for the MPs and a few other military police and a few other people, because we are embracing or entering into 2 full days of training in the Assist program, which is a program that helps people who might be working with people who are at risk of a threat of suicide, giving us tools that we could use to find ways to assist someone in making a different choice and walking them through the process of finding help. And much more, I imagine. It starts this morning at 8 o'clock and runs till 4 o'clock, and the same thing for tomorrow on Wednesday. And we were warned when we got the invitation and then confirmation of registration for this course. We were warned that it can be a difficult program. And for a lot of people, it can be a trigger. It can bring back things. And I imagine, because I think there are very few civilians taking this course. It's being offered through the Military Family Resource Center at Garrison Wainwright. And you needed to be in a profession or in a helping mode, in a volunteer place where this would be of benefit to you. So I have been permitted to participate in this training, and I'm a little bit concerned because I have had 2 family members, people I loved dearly, who died by suicide. And I have known over the years way too many young people and others who have made those decisions or who have attempted suicide. And so I think today and tomorrow will be a tough days to learn and to role play and to take on board a lot of things that most people hopefully would never have to deal with. And I'm praying that this is one of those situations where you become prepared for something. Preparedness leads you to a place where you need to use it. But I would rather be prepared for something and never have to use it than find myself in a position, as I have been at least once before, where I didn't have the training I needed. And I think that ongoing training is really important. So I ask your prayers for us as we do that. But I'd like to talk today about suicide, and this is a tough topic. We have changed. Our society has changed so much for the better when it comes to talking about suicide. It wasn't too long ago. I remember as a child, people wouldn't talk about people who had committed suicide, or people who died by suicide. People who made that choice were considered, that it was considered by many that they committed the most unforgivable sin. In some cases, they couldn't even be buried in hallowed ground, in proper sacred cemeteries, and that's just simply about the person who died. And then, of course, there was the stigma that was placed on the family members and the loved ones and the friends of those who had died by their own hand. There is so much damage. I think so much damage was done by the church and by society by not recognizing that mental illness and loneliness and despair are often the things that would move someone to consider committing. The language has changed, and I'm trying to work with that. Someone making the decision to die by suicide. We are, in the last few years, we have come leaps and bounds as far as trying to de-stigmatize mental health issues. And a large part of that is because of our public figures, like sports people, like Carey Price, other people who have stepped up and said, I have mental health issues, I have addiction issues, or I have something going on in my life that I am finding it too difficult to deal with on my own, so I am seeking help. And, you know, thank God we have come so far that we are now acknowledging that, and we are advertising it, and we are encouraging people to reach out and get help where they will be helped without judgment, that it's not something wrong, that this is not suicidal ideations or mental health concerns are not something to be shunned or stigmatized. They are something that people deal with, like cancer or addictions like smoking or alcoholism, that are not healthy for us, and we need to find ways to figure out how to get over them, to change them, to heal them, to be cured of them. Or even if they can't be cured, how do we learn to have coping skills to deal with them? For many, many people, though, their mental health puts them in a position where they cannot necessarily see hope. That they could acknowledge that, yes, indeed, for many people, you know, there's help out there, and there's programs, and there's people to talk to, and therapies, and you know, even just having someone come alongside you that you can call in difficult times to help you make good decisions. Yep, those are great for other people. No one would understand what I'm going through. And you know what? They're right. No one can understand what another person is going through. No one can know the depths of despair that are within one person. And we need to acknowledge that. We need to learn how to walk alongside someone without imposing our thoughts on them. Because I think when we do that, we actually disengage from them in the act of trying to engage. We put more distance between us and them when we tell them, no, I know how you feel. We don't. Even if we have walked that path ourselves before, our feelings are not their feelings, and we cannot go there with them. We can simply pray for them, walk alongside them, be there for them, offer ourselves and our time and our presence and our prayers to them, but we cannot enter into their reality and change it for them. And so for people who are struggling with mental health issues, for people who are struggling with depression or addictions, for people who cannot see light at the end of the tunnel and want the pain to simply end, we need to learn how to be present for them, to be present with them, and to walk with them, and maybe offer alternatives and offer hope when we can. But we need to not judge. We also need to be able to learn how to forgive. When someone has died by suicide, our lives get turned upside down too. Someone we love, even if it's just an acquaintance, it changes, the ripple effect changes our lives. And while we love them, it would be unrealistic to think that we never get mad at them, or that we're not frustrated with them, or devastated by what they have done. I believe that we have the responsibility, because of our love for them, to forgive them. To acknowledge that we maybe didn't understand or couldn't come alongside them enough to truly recognize what they were going to do. And as with a lot of people who have died by suicide, when they make that decision, they make it very difficult for anyone to pull them back from the brink. So we also need to not feel guilty. We need to be able to recognize that they are gone, that they have died. But I believe we also have to recognize and rejoice in the fact that they were a child of God. And just because they are gone earlier than maybe we or God would want them to be, that they have not been abandoned, that we are not saying goodbye to them forever, but because their despair is now completely gone, because they have been welcomed into the kingdom of heaven. They have been welcomed by Jesus Christ himself, who understood what it was to sit in the Garden of Gethsemane and say, "My Lord, can you not take this cup from me? Not my will, but yours be done." Jesus understands the depths of despair, but he was the only one that could do what he did. And what he did for those who have died by suicide as well. So as I go through today and tomorrow, and as you walk through your life and you recognize those people in your lives who are suffering from mental health issues, or who are struggling with loneliness and despair, especially in this pandemic time, please be patient and please reach out. Find ways that you can ask for help, or you can help them to ask for help. Find ways that you can learn more and become educated yourselves. Research and do everything you can. And if, when the time comes, there was nothing more you could do, then know that you too can reach out for help. Thank you for listening today, and thank you for praying. Thank you for praying for all those that all of us know who have died by suicide, who weren't able to face the next day. Help us. Let us pray that we will all be able to lay aside our anger or our own despair that they took their lives so early, and allow ourselves to know that they are with God, and that our love for them and their love for us is abiding and continues, even when we cannot be together on this temporal sphere. God bless you. God bless those around you. Take time today to check in with others and see how they're doing. And if you need someone to check in with, make sure you do that. Make sure you reach out for help. I will be around in the evening, and I will be checking email later on today. So if you need something, please feel free to email me. God bless you. Have a gentle day. And I will see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachael.